Game masters have this really bad habit of explaining stuff, and they don't understand the seed of what they're doing is bad. Uh, they try to explain everything where I'm like, the not knowing is one of the funnest parts for players. And it doesn't mean they'll always come up with the right answers. That's not the point. It is the fun. It's okay, you shrug your shoulders. Why'd that guy run around the corner? Like, you never give more information than you can justify. Never try. Never try to explain something, ever. If there's no reason the player characters would know it, let them be in their minds the entire game on every element that you stick in front of them where they don't know the whole answer. Now, it might make them want to go seek out the answer. That's fine. That gets them moving. But it will leave them talking. It's okay for them to get things wrong. Remember, it is part of the fun of the gaming element too, to see players talking afterwards about what something could have been, even if they're wrong. It's stop being concerned about them being wrong and notice the energy. It's going to be good energy. It's going to be talk. And the more your players are into trying to figure things out, just think of everything like a puzzle. Every part of the whole game is a puzzle. Just think of the entire game as a puzzle. And that every bit of it is players constantly trying to figure out every piece of thing they're going through. And there's so many game masters that have a habit of explaining things because they're nerds. They explain stuff. I'm just like, I don't know how many guys I've watched over the years where I'm just like, dude, just shut the fuck up. I remember playing games early on after my first DM really played this out well for us. I'd be in games where I wouldn't even ask what the thing was because my character should have known. And the game master would start explaining it to me. Like, dude, stop. Don't. I shouldn't know this. I wouldn't complain to you, but I'd be like, but how would my guy know that? Which he wasn't used to because he was always used to players asking questions like, ask a question of the thing they can't know. And there I am as a player going, well, how would my character know that? I would always want to limit my knowledge with my character if my character is just justifying me to know something. Like, I want to figure it out. And if I want to know, I'll go ask. Or I'll get up and do something to seek out that information, right? Stop giving me the information. Don't explain everything. Don't explain everything. Mystery is your friend. It is your best friend. It is one of the greatest. It's such a subtle thing, too. It's such a subtle, good experience. The mystery of not knowing things. It's so subtle what you're going to explain compared to not explaining it. Because you do leave players wondering, what the fuck? And on so many things. And you got to me, it can become a bad habit if you're always trying to explain everything. You'll start trying to always explain everything. And you'll start giving answers out when you shouldn't. You ever see a DM do that? He gets asked a question, but he's been explaining everything so often during the game that he gets asked a question where the player should not know any of this stuff. And he starts just... So one of the ways, and that's exactly it, Black Rose, what I'm trying to tell people is DMs, one of the easiest ways to counter it is just to practice it right from the get-go on the minute stuff. Make a habit. That's what you're looking to do, Black Rose. You want the habit. It is a habit. You're developing a habit of not doing it. Then the major areas you've got no problem, right? Yeah, and then you'll be way better once you develop the habit. It's where do you develop the habit? It's not in the major parts of the game. It's in the minute stuff. Like when they're in the town, just doing minor things. Okay, you got to be putting yourself in check and going, would they know that? No, ain't telling them. And it might seem like a very minor thing. It's so minor what you're going to cut them off from. But that minor stuff is really good. This is a practice area. This is where you create the better habit of not doing it. And when you develop a habit of not doing it, You just won't. Like then, like you say, you're having success now. But that's the thing. You'll have consistent success as long as you practice it this way. It is in the minute area of explaining things where you create the bad habit of giving information out later that you shouldn't. Right? And it is rotten because what you're doing is you don't realize you are actually taking experience away. It doesn't matter how wrong you can really be like, oh man, players have no idea what's going on here. Listen to them talk. So stupid. But I'm like, no, forget what they're getting wrong, dude. Pay attention to how much fun they're having. Pay attention to the talk, the conversation, the energy, the mystery. That's good. Like, of course, you hope they figure it out as they go. But that part is a much better part of the game than you think it is. So important. So important. Right. So important. Okay. Next area, it's the spotlight. Most game masters get this area wrong when they start spotlighting. And it's not that they will spotlight incorrectly, but they start trying to spotlight every player's character. I'm like, that's not what you do. In session, that's not a problem. Just I'm amused. It's between sessions that it becomes a challenge. I've noticed. Oh yeah, that too. That you just got to be. Oh man, again. Get yourself in check early. They're going to ask between you. Get used to shrugging your shoulders. Well, that's but you get what I'm saying, Zach. It'd be nice if they always had the right answer, but you know they don't. That's why you're telling me sometimes they don't, right? I just tell all game masters, and it's just something I had to figure out early was, don't get bothered by the wrong outcome. Pay attention to the energy of the fun of them trying to figure it out. And you do want that part, and you would like them to finally figure it out right, but you don't want to take that away. They're having experience there, wrong or right. That is good. It's a valued one. Or it's a valued one. You want them thinking on edge, and you don't want to give away, like Black Rose is making a good point here. You can accidentally give it away when players are excited. So between sessions, they're asking you questions. And you accidentally go, whoa, okay, yeah. You don't want to do that. So you got to maintain the mystery. And you can throw them hints and everything. But it's also okay for them to get it wrong. That's what game masters forget, that we're the game. I'm not responsible for your success. My only thing is I want from you as the players to play right. You picked the wrong way. Well, I throw you some hints that that's not the right way. I'll throw you some hints, but you can keep going. And you can finally hit the dead end where it's just not there. Oh, why are we here? See, I think game masters get confused. Their job is to make sure players are successful. I'm like, no. Good night, Philo. Good night, my friend. From a long-ended campaign, and one of my players just never stopped asking about minute plots and secrets. That was what I surprised. Well, because they'll be jogging on that one forever. They want to know. It's such an interest, they can't let it go, and that's a good thing though. It's not the wanting to know part, or it's not the getting the answers. It's you've done a good job if you got them wanting to know, but it's just like at the same time you want to keep that mystery. Yeah, that's the thing. And you have now messed that up, right? So I want to get back to the spotlighting thing. So a lot of DMs or game masters out there think they if one character gets a spotlight for a moment, they have to then, or they want to give the spotlight to every character. And I'm like, you have that so wrong. I never aim a spotlight at anybody. Spotlight to me is something that I'll know how to spotlight certain elements for characters, like give them opportunities. Meaning spotlight, when I say spotlight in one way, spotlight as in, okay, it's like making sure there's an activity for the thief, making sure there's activities for the warrior, making sure there's activities for the cleric that are going to be to the cleric, right? So there is spotlighting as far as making sure there's moments when each character has a reason to be there and can do what they do, right? What they bring to the picture. But then there's like sort of a natural spotlight that happens too, where in the combat, maybe one character shines more than the others. Or in the social interaction, that guy really talked their way through. And you don't need to aim that everywhere. What you got to do is really learn this. Even if in the session you don't have something for every character, just say naturally there is no reason to put something in there for the thief. So you can't spotlight everybody. Well, what do you do if you can't spotlight everybody? Why would I say that's not important? What you do is you pay attention to all players. Here's what I mean. It's just say the big spotlight went to a certain character during the fight or during a scene. Okay, he has a lot of attention that went his way. Here's what you should always ask players that weren't involved in something. Like, just say they're listening to the conversation between an important NPC and like maybe one or two of the characters. Realistically, the spotlight is on the characters. They're going to talk this guy into a thing. But there's like a player or two with their characters sort of in the background, not really getting a lot of airtime. It's not like they're not having some fun, but they're not getting a lot of airtime. And it's all about the two upfront characters doing most of the talking. How do you plant a seed in the minds of those players to make sure they feel like they're not just background nobodies? It's a simple thing, guys. So here's some of the best advice I can give to a game master. Just say you have that where, say you have like 5 players and you got 2 players that really have talked their way through the thing with the NPC. When that scene is done, when those NPCs are leaving, when you get that moment, take the time, sort of like a semi-pause, and ask players that were not involved, okay, you guys just heard all those guys talking. So say you point at one of the players. Okay, what are your thoughts about what was just all said? Cool. Maybe you want to make sure you mention that to the other characters when we get back, right? Yeah. What about you? What do you think? Oh, yeah. And they've actually get to hear what the other players thinks. And so the players that were involved, they're all hearing each other now, even if it is out of character. But it is important information. Ask the other player. So what were you thinking when all this was going on? And here's a weird thing. When they all go back to being in character or socializing, like, oh, and they finally, they thought of some stuff. They're going to say some stuff to the other characters because I went through that with them. All 3 of those players feel like they're not forgotten. Like, because I've taken the time to ask them what they think, now they matter. Now they've had some attention given to them. Just by me, the game master. Go to a fight. So just say one player's really had their character shine doing like the cool stuff. And maybe he's even had like a shine, like, quite a bit. Well, ask the other players, like after the fight's over, be sort of in a pause mode. Like, so your character's seeing all that go down. He's like, how's your guy feeling? Oh, cool. What about your guy? How do you feel? And also, as you're asking these questions, you're also going to let them get the motor running and thinking, so they'll actually have ideas of what they can say in character when they go back into the scene. Because now they've thought it out with you, how they feel. Ask players how they feel when they were in the background of a fight or something. Not what they were thinking, ask them how they feel. They'll still verbally explain it. Then you sort of take it off, pause, and go back into the game. What happens? Players that were in the background of that scene all feel important now. Like, they all feel like they've been heard. Like, you don't even have to spotlight them in the game. You've just given them attention, and that's a spotlight in itself in a weird way. I've done this trick on players for years, where because I've watched other game masters where you'll see players that will come out of it and go, man, yeah, like I don't really talk that much. I'm in the background. Like, yeah. Or, yeah, that character's always, like, kicking ass, and I'm not getting anywhere. And their experience will seem a little numb, like bored. Like, they'll be almost bored. They're not achieving in the big fight. They're not really interacting deeply with certain parts of the game. And this can be consistent for some players. What's a way to make sure in every one of those scenes that you are changing that outcome? Making each one of those players feel important, heard, giving them ideas of what they're going to say in character, letting them think, letting the other players that are shining hear what they have to say, right? So it becomes a sort of round circle participation. It doesn't take 20 minutes to do this. It takes a minute or two for each person to sort of say what they're going to say, and then you get right back to the game. It can be really important. It's a minor thing, but attention to all players. Especially when others are shining, like background players that feel like it's like, even if you have a player, like say you run a game where players aren't always there. So there's some people that run games out there where players can hop in and hop out, hop in, hop out. And sometimes that means more consistent players will talk more. They have interacted with the setting more. They know the NPCs you're running into. They're definitely doing better at the fighting. They got better gear. They're going to kick ass. Well, that guy who's only there once in a while, do that with him if he's not being the big shiner in the fight. Because he doesn't know the NPCs that well, he's not going to say much. All right, ask him what he's thinking after that. In a way, you get him talking, but you also get him now participating. And trust me, it becomes interesting. This little exercise becomes interesting to all players. They all want to hear what each other think. You're making people important. It's a small thing. What I just told you is extremely valuable advice as a game master. That's some of the best advice I could give people. Like it's just one that it's a mental thing. It's manipulation, not in a bad way. It is to improve the experience, and no player will feel like that exercise is boring or bad, because everybody wants some attention. And so sometimes you can give attention that will end up feeling like there's been a bit of a spotlight put on people without putting a spotlight, right? So you've given some attention. Anyway, that's really, really handy stuff. That takes some wisdom to learn, right? Okay, let's talk about the next issue. Okay, here's a little trick. This is just good advice, period. I don't care if you're running 5e or running 1e AD&D. Here's a piece of advice. I don't know how long we got to spend on this one, but just a piece of advice. Whenever you require a save versus death, right? Dice roll. Whenever. When that comes up, you should always ask players, okay, wait. It's exactly tips like these that many DMs, most often new ones, need to hear. Even long-time DMs need to have these reminders from time to time. They really do. That attention thing is so important. It's so valuable to make players feel important, and you haven't had to. Basically, the lead players can take lead, and you can still always make sure the other players feel like they're getting time. And again, the lead players do not feel like this. It doesn't take long. Lead players will be happy to listen into what the other guys are saying. You'll notice it's not a boring thing at all. Ever. Doesn't matter if you do it during a fight. Fights and action like that should be feelings. You're asking about feelings. When it comes to NPCs, there you go. You're welcome. But here's the next piece of advice. Whenever you ask for save versus death, I don't care if it's old school or new school, ask the player what flashes in the mind of their character. So basically, in a way, even if 5e, the save versus death might not kill you right away, it is a sort of facing death situation. Like it's either in old school, it means you could just die in the roll. In new school, the idea is you could die, but you're going to avoid it. But anyway, you still got to take it in like you could die. So, what would flash in the mind of your character if they were faced with death like that? Like the blade is coming at their neck. Like, what's the last thing they see? They're like the face of their mother. Like, what? It's an interesting exercise that makes players have to interact with the scene in a very unique way. Like, think about that, and it will make other players listen in. This is another one where I guarantee the other players will not be bored needing to hear what this player is going to say. When you say, all right, save versus death, but before that, what flashes through your character's mind before you make the dice roll? And the player has to think. Give them a moment. It's okay. This is it can take sort of the shallowness out of this moment and make it creative. It is a way to interact with a very dark scene that becomes interesting for the player, interesting for the other players listening in. It is that's a solid old school one. Now, I know some other old school DMs that know this, but I don't hear them say it much. Actually, I've never heard none of the YouTuber guys say this, so I figure it probably isn't that like well spread. It's like old school wisdom. Get players to think about like what goes through their characters' minds when they're facing death like that. What is the last thing they see? What's the face? What's the thing? Right? That's really important. Really important. Really important. Okay. If you haven't thought about doing that one with your players, do it. If you've just been asking for save versus death and not been doing that gimmick, do it. That's solid. I learned that my first DM. He did that. He's like save versus death, but before you roll the dice, what flashes through your character's mind? Oh shit. You have to stop and think about it. And at that point, he's actually very sympathetic. Usually, he's a pressure guy, and same thing with me. So when you do this, don't put too much. Give them a moment, right? Yes, it is a very handy one. It makes the whole scene. It takes some of the shallowness away and brings some strange creativity to it, because you are getting the player up to think through that moment, and the other players are going to listen. This is not going to be a boring moment. You are not killing flow with that gimmick. That is a lively gimmick.